Assalamualaikum, selamat petang, good evening to my fellow workmates. After more than two years living with COVID-19 and many months intermediate lockdowns, interacting between working from home and the workplace, COVID-19 safety guidelines for the workplace have been introduced and revised a number of times. The drastic change of working from the workplace in the living or study room at home, and from being able to meet colleagues face to face to meeting behind computer screen, have created much challenges supply because the difficulties in adapting to the new work norm. Thus, I'm here to share with you some of practical ways I have adopted to maintain health and ensure personal safety both at home and at work. The knowledge I am sharing is actually gained through reading, personal experience, and the tips shared among family, friends, and ourselves. The Health Ministry of Malaysia is provided essential and effective safe work procedure and prevention of COVID-19 at the workplace at both employers and employees in all industry to follow. The procedure cover guidelines before entering the workplace, general rules during work and when conducting meeting, managing emergency situation on COVID-19, and workplace clearing and disinfection. Before entering the workplace, every working adult is to wear face mask, undergo body temperature measurement, comply with social distancing, and washing hands frequently. Anyone one of us who has a temperature of more than 37.5 Celsius should refrain from entering the workplace and hence report himself or herself to the employee and or health authorities. In addition, all employees are given new work schedule whereby the selected ones take turn working in the office while others work from home. In keeping with the social distancing rule, break time schedules and are also given to ensure that everyone is not gathered in one place, either in the canteen, pantry or social room at the same time. The social distancing also applies when conducting meetings. Moreover, employers are to employers are to ensure that the workplace are clear and disinfected regularly to avoid unnecessary infection during emergency. When a workmate is suspected to have symptoms of COVID-19, he or she is immediately isolated and others evacuated from the place of isolation before the health authority is notified. Implementing guidelines at work and at home. Getting used a new working norm take a lot of adjustment as it affected both physic and at the mind. Being in lockdown was a first shock that made almost everyone put the daily routine to her health. It was sudden change that no one expected and her prefer for. It was a relief when the government allowed business to open. However, there were much confusion about the new work rule at the light of COVID-19 because the government was also learning to cope with the pandemic. The guidelines were announced gradually and not all the Malaysian states followed the guidelines. Furthermore, even when the guidelines was spread through the various media platforms, confusion still arose due to the frequent change and or improvement to initial guidelines. Hence, implementation of the guideline was slow in painstaking for many. The implementation of the guidelines were not emphasized at the home due to the assumption that families and relatives are those who are safe from the virus. However, the government has emphasized the need for those who walk out of home to disinfect themselves before entering their homes. There is reduced to risk of the family members, especially those who are considered before of high-risk getting infected. Unfortunately, may do not always take the necessary precaution. Problem encountered during implementation at the start of the coronavirus outbreak made it not understand severity of the pandemic, and even if they did, they hope and assume that they will be naturally exempted from infection. Thus, many do not follow guidelines strictly. Social distancing was sometimes neglected. Sorry, excuse me. Naturally, the number is infected cases steadily increased even with the vaccination process was underway. Excuse me. Sorry. Getting used to wearing masks of long period, washing the hands frequently, and excuse me. Also taking bath straight after arriving home proved to be challenging for many. A lot of us so used excuse me, to breathe without any face cover. Touching our face was something that was natural. In addition, taking off the mask after either making sure that they do not hide below the jaw around the neck were also a tedious routine. Many still left and are hanging around the jaw. I believe that the major problem that arose during implement is the loss of time and increased frustration. Many of us are hoping that a number of cases will drop and hence the virus could gradually disappear, but this just was wishful thinking. Due to the additional COVID-19 safety guidelines and practice, lot of work continuously fill up because of the unexpected quarantine, lockdown, and road blocks. Solution and habit development. I believe there is no COVID-proof solution at this moment. Some of those who have been fully vaccinated were also infected despite all precautionary measures. However, if we continue to do our best to keep the government guidelines and not take our lives and lives in our family, we will be able to lower the risk and infection and may prevent ourselves from ever being infected by the virus. Although there are no proven antidote scientifically developed yet, there are already many successful stories of the recovered many going to traditional medicine. I believe we have nothing else to lose and try win our lives and lives at on the line. Conclusion. In summary, there's no short of COVID-19 safety guidelines given by the Ministry of Health in Malaysia for the workplace at the home. However, it's been a challenge to implement and follow the guidelines due to the frequent revision and the inability of many employees to comply with the new norm and routine. Wearing face masks, washing hands, and keeping a distancing. Thus, the increase in the case, there are also no such COVID-proof safety measure at this moment. In reality, safety can only be maintained by us. So my dear colleague, I hope that we will routine to practice good self-management for the betterment of everyone, especially our family, and to prolong the quality of our lives. Stay safe and thank you for listening. Thank you. Bye. Assalamualaikum.